The weird shadow. Well, good morning. So, Friday. Fantastic Friday. Fun Friday. Feel the force Friday. This morning, we're going to have a fun chat. When Heidi gets on, we'll be discussing dating, genes, and business and what they all have in common. And so then when I asked, I said, okay, cool. This was Heidi's suggestion. I said, cool. What does that mean? And she said, it'll be fun to splain on camera. So we're waiting for her to come in. Good morning, Terry. Two Terrys. Good morning. So maybe for those of you who are just getting on, what does that sound like? Terry, good morning. Dating, genes, and business. And I wonder, just off the rip, it could mean, knowing Heidi, who knows where it's going, but it could mean like how you show up, wearing jeans to a date or wearing jeans to a business meeting. I wear jeans most of the time, so I don't know. So, okay, here she is. Let's bring her on. I'm wearing black jeans right now. Morning, Derek. Morning, honey.
Good morning, love. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, TGIF. I'm like a circus monkey. Ooh, ooh. I'm so happy it's Friday. Got a full day, though. How are you?
I'm doing well. We went late last night. I didn't get in till after 11.
Ooh,
But I saw
that's
Terry.
really late for me. It's like,
Yeah, knowing Terry Wager, who's here too. He was up with us. He and his wife Christine were up. We're all working together, and so we went to bed late.
aw, good. Make it burning the midnight oil.
Yeah. We were
Burning the
just
midnight oil.
setting up the room for the event, so it was good.
Awesome. Well, I was inspired to talk about this text that I sent you this morning, like 2 minutes
Yeah.
before we're supposed to come this morning, and say, let's talk about dating, genes, and business and what they all have in common. And you're like, what? And I was like, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So yesterday I had a client, and people come in for all different types of things, right? But this particular client, one of the things that we're working on is her relationships and getting into a relationship and allowing herself to kind of, allow it, attract it, receive it. And so anyway, we were talking about how one of the reasons that most of the people, I think, fail at relationships are because we put all of our stock into one person. We get really hopeful, right? And we're like, oh, this got to work. This person's really got to make it happen. And yeah, this is the vision and this is the holy grail, right? This is like the end game, the marriage. This is what I really want. So we put all our hopes in that one person and lay and project all those hopes onto that person. And then we spend a lot of time trying to morph that person into the person we think they could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
We date people's potential, not the reality of who they really are. And then when it doesn't work, we go, oh, I can't believe it. We get blindsided. And then we take a lot of time off to like lick our wounds and heal, right? So I said to her, my philosophy is, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, not everybody takes a lot of time off. Some people,
a lot of people do.
I know, but there's those two philosophies. Some people just go
They
right
do.
into relationship. They just
do.
keep dating
But
the
you know
same
what?
person over and over again.
They do, exactly. They keep dating the same person. And I was guilty of that. I used to do the same thing. I was more guilty of staying in them too long. Like a ride or die, ride or die. But what is we supposed to do, right? And so I said, we spend more effort, like when we're really trying to find something, like we know how to look for things. We know how to find things. We know how to increase our odds to be successful. Like if we're looking for genes, we'll spend more time perusing the genes and looking at the genes and saying, oh, how do they fit? And trying them on and be like, do I like how they fit? Do they make my butt look good? Do they, do I feel comfortable in them? Instead of, oh, these genes have to be the ones that fit. Right? And so Chinese restaurants, we spend more effort like trying out Chinese restaurants, digesting the food. How does it feel? Is it yummy? Do I like it? Not, oh, this has to be the Chinese restaurant that I'm going to go to. And so that's when we're in relationships. It really is not so much, oh, I have to turn this into the one. It's, does it fit me? How do I feel in it? Do I have the feeling I want to have? Is this the best version of me? Like when we're in jeans, we spend more effort saying, do these jeans make me the best version of me, versus our relationships. And that to me is really scary. We spend more time trying out couches. How comfortable are they? Right? Then how comfortable is this marriage, or how comfortable is this relationship? And so it's not that I want to treat people like a couch or a Chinese restaurant, but
You want to treat them like jeans.
I surely want to give people the right perspective to say, well, why don't you at least give your relationships as much thought as you do a pair of jeans, and
Well,
how it makes you feel, right?
right. And obviously one of the reasons why, and that's why a lot of the work that we do, people don't do that, is because they barely know themselves. And that would require a level of introspection and vulnerability and honesty. Because actually, it actually brings me to kind of what I was going to suggest we talk about this morning is, imposter syndrome. Like, what is it? How does it show up? And, I think that does tie into a little bit of what you're saying anyway, because if we don't know who we are and we're still trying to be something else, then we're looking for someone to fit something we're not even, because we're worried about what it looks like. We're worried about, I know plenty of
They're
people
going to find
who,
out who I am and bail.
right. So,
Right.
so then sometimes getting in the relationship or getting the job or getting the whatever is a part of their imposter, part of their posing, as opposed to just being okay with who they are, loving themselves, learning about themselves, and then going, this is going to be the best fit. I'm not buying the jeans so that it makes me look good. I'm buying the jeans because they fit good, because they're appropriate. And there's actually, if you think about it, the entire business world, in many respects, the marketing world, is built on knowing that people don't know themselves enough that they're buying stuff to look a certain way. So I'm going to look a certain way so that you see this great watch, you see this great car, you see all this. We've seen it down where we are, people renting really expensive cars so that they can look like they're doing better than they are, so they can attract the relationship or attract the business, attract whatever that they think they want, rather than just being present with who they truly are and
Where
taking the
they're really
time
at.
to, right, and go, okay, this is going to be the best fit.
Yeah, and it's really funny because this is appropriate. I like to share our own life, and what's happening and whatever. I know you get a little like, oh, what's she gonna talk about? But
No,
here's the thing. Like I've had this call on my heart to hold a retreat for a really long time, right? And I have a vision for the retreat. I know I know what it's gonna be. I know all the content, but the location has always been this thing on my heart where, oh, I just want this mansion in the hills. And not because it's a mansion in the hills, but because that when my particular participants come, I want them to feel this sense of just like, wow, we deserve to have this beautiful space, and we deserve to have this wonderful experience, and a chef cook for us and all these things. And then there's one in Mexico, right? So that's the vision. That's not changing. That's not going anywhere. And I found the space recently. So it's like, wow, yeah, I found this guy who has this property, and yeah, let's do it. But what's the reality? The reality is you can hold on to the vision, and we can want that. And we could say, yes, I'm going to have this big thing, but maybe I'm not going to have it this month. Maybe I'm not going to have it next month. When is the right time to have that? And and this is what people, because everybody just wants to see the mansion on the hill, right?
right,
What we miss is, what does it take to get to the mansion on the hill, right? What does it take? The building of, your people who trust you to take them away on this adventure, the building of the finances to be able to support the investment that it takes. The building of things is what's missing. Everybody wants the end result, and we're lied to, because sometimes the end result isn't even real.
right.
It's manufactured, right? And so that's the trap that we're all kind of in, is like, nobody talks about all the jeans they tried on before their butt looked that good. Nobody talks about all the mini retreats that they built upon in order to pay cash for the place, to lay down the money to have the bigger space. And so we have to be willing to understand the process to it. You got to kiss a lot of damn frogs.
Right.
Sometimes you really
Well,
do, in relationships and business, and like, meaning failure.
right. Well, and that then goes back to the identity section of the imposter, I can never show up like I failed, like I screwed up, like I'm
Right.
not perfect. And, I know that I'm guilty of that. I didn't realize I was till to the degree that I was until I was, put under the pressure, whereas, because quite honestly, actually in music, probably I had some like natural things, but also I spent a lot of time doing it. But also, you could screw up, and then
Yeah.
just you'd be like, "Oh, that was just jazz." Like
You
there's
know, you know what
less.
the difference is that we're not, it's not that we're screwing up because we screw up and like we fall off our
No,
bike. It's that people are watching us screw up. And so, and that's the story, is like, who's going to see me bite it, right? And who's watching to see if I bite it. And so that's the pressure that people feel, is like, because now it's plastered everywhere. People are watching in real time.
well, right, which is why, and then the other challenge becomes when you're so busy making sure the angle is just right, make sure the lighting's just right, making sure the filters are just right, all of that. Just even being unfiltered, unperfect, like shot in just being normal stuff looks bad in comparison. So now to actually have a challenge or actually have a flub, a faux pas, whatever, then you're like, oh man, it looks even worse. And then we're also so conditioned to comparing ourselves to others. I mean, look at if you look at any advertising, I just make the joke about the old Budweiser commercials, no pun intended, Bud Girl, but how the idea that like all those commercials back in the day of the guys sitting like all these old fat like guys, and then all of a sudden like the hot bikini girls come in because you're drinking Bud, and you're like, oh yeah, so that's all I have to do.
Which, by the way, ain't really gonna make the girls flock. FYI, public service announcement.
Right, but that's
no, it's so funny, right?
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah, it's true.
So we're so conditioned to a life that is. See, and here's the thing: it is possible, but it takes me back to those memes that we see where it goes, like I can use music, we can use seminars, we can use everything that we've ever done, and go what people think we do. And then there's this one like, yay,
oh
rah,
yeah.
rah,
What
rah,
I really
right?
do.
Yeah, what my mom
Shovel
thinks
and
I
poop.
do. Yeah, right. And then
Wiping
what we're really doing, right? And then what we're really doing is, setting up the room and making sure the chairs are even, and wondering who's going to show, and having all these other.
Do we have enough? Are people going to come and sit in the chair? Like
right? Even then, and that's the other thing. Even when we have, however many registrations that there are, they don't even show up. So then you're like,
right? So you're like,
well, what? So we're always worried about then what it looks like, and we're conditioned to the instant gratification. We're conditioned to the perfect representations that and there's value to that, because again, what we do talk about, train, is have a vision, live into the vision. You've got to have some clarity.
right.
Life has become like vision boards. Like, we just put all this stuff on Facebook, and, we're basically vision boarding our life and kind of creating a life we want people to think it is. Like, as an example, I'm at this conference right now, and, we're in sunny Florida in Orlando, and, at the hotel, and the hotel is more like a motel. It's not.
It's a crack whack hotel.
No, it's not.
Crack Jack, crack whack.
It's not that bad. We've been in much worse. But my point is that
I stayed in much worse.
Yes, of course, and so have you and I. But my point is that like there's this thing like, oh, it's going to be great. Like my coffee machine is like, and like here I'm complaining about the coffee machine, or the fact that it's got one of those like loud, crazy motel air conditioners that you can't hear, or that all those silly things that but it's not that glamorous. It's like it's just a place to lie down. Like people go, oh, you're traveling all the time, and it's so glamorous and amazing. It's like, no, I sat in my car for 4 hours, and I really, I got here, there was some great things that are happening, and that's what we focus on. But people think that it's a lot cooler than sometimes it is, because also we're mostly going to show the good stuff, which we should mostly show the good stuff, right?
Yeah, the highlight reel, because
you don't want people complaining all the time either.
Yeah, and you don't want to, I don't even know the opposite of inspire, despire, uninspire,
Discouraged.
discourage people from, feeling like, oh, when you do get there, it is that great. I mean, so for me, even, thinking there's that old meme that was going around that was, when we're worried about failing and what it looks like to other people. We did another video, by the way, on imposter syndrome in its entirety. So go on YouTube and check it out. It's a really good one. This is a little bit of a different angle on that. But people that are judging often on this meme that goes around, and it's so true, that people that are criticizing you and watching you fail and being like, are people who are doing worse than you. They're more insecure, right? But the people that are doing better than you, or have reached a level of success are never the ones criticizing, because they know how hard it was. So they're looking back at you and saying, oh yeah, I remember that. Good for you. Go get them. You can do this. And so that's important to know. Is like, where's the discouragement coming from? Where are the looks of, oh, what are they going to do? Oh, they're going to do that. Oh, good luck. Where's the source, right, of the discouragement? Yes, it's our own internal voice, but it's also the projected voice of what we think other people are saying. And sometimes it's legitimate. Sometimes other people really are being like, oh God, look at that failure. Those are the people that are crossing their fingers and praying to God that you fail so they don't have to go for it. Because then if you fail, they go, aha, yeah, okay, good. Look, watch them. Yeah, it's not really going to work for me. They're hanging on to your failure because it validates their own insecurity that they're not going to be able to do it either. And so it's scarier for people to watch you succeed. But
Right.
the thing is that people don't understand the work that it takes. I just recently started to notice a shift in the way that people come to me now. Like before, it was this consultation where, I would have to spend an hour with somebody to really talk to them about the work that I do and how I can help them. And that's the way old school works, right? Now, when people come to me, it's that they say, I've been watching your videos for 3 years. Yeah, when you talked about this one, like last summer, they tell me the videos, and so they're ready to work with me. Like, they're just like, yep, let's go. I'm ready to work with you now. And so the dating process, the courting process, all that, like we talked about yesterday, the work
Yep.
that we put into things, the success, there'll be a time when we're going to have what looks like to everybody else even more success, right? Where it's going to be like, oh, wow, they're filling up these seminars, and it's like a wait list to work. And, but this is the work now that will be happening 6 months, a year from now. And then we can come back and refer and say, no, watch the journey, right? Because that's why I'm so grateful that we can be real about the journey that we're on, so that other people that are on the journey have reference points for their own
Right.
journey, right? Like, oh yeah, right? Even people can look at our relationship and be like, wow, yeah, they have this way. I want that relationship, and want to skip to it or hop to it. But oh my God, we both had such epic failures, heartbreak, picking the wrong relationship, staying way too long,
Well, being human.
being human, undervaluing ourselves, and being fearful and all of that. And so, the value, like Iyanla Vanzant wrote a book, The Value in the Valley, you know.
Well, and interesting, what made me think is that whole filter that we run a lot through is very obviously the way we're thinking of ourselves, right? So when we're looking at someone else accomplishing something and we're hoping they fail and all of that,
Well,
it's
we're not
almost
doing that, but when people are hoping people
no,
fail, right?
I'm yeah.
Yeah.
So just using that example because I've been guilty of it.
Hoping people fail?
Well, not hoping people fail, getting jealous of their success.
That's different.
But, well, yes and no, because I think if you're jealous of someone's success, there's an element of you that may be going, wow, I hope something happens that I want to find out that's
jealousy,
not.
it's true. And jealousy, when you're watching something else happens, is just really your insecurity manifesting that you can't do it. The only thing that jealousy is a reflection for is an inferiority of, I'm not recognizing that I am able to do that too. And so that's a worthiness conversation.
Well, right, but I'm still saying this is a filter.
Right.
So whatever that filter is, but then what happens is we hypnotize ourselves to the thought that everybody else is thinking the way I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So then we attract people who think like we think.
Right.
And then we create, it becomes that self-fulfilling prophecy just by proxy. And it's really a valuable exercise in celebrating other people's successes and noticing how we're showing up and like appreciating the journey, appreciating that they're challenges, that they're, you know, things, you know, like I had the gift of, you know, working with Paul and, you know, last night as we're setting up and kind of going, you know, it was only a few years ago. What was your first event like? What was your, how did you feel that event? How did you experience these things? And, and you know, things fell.
Be careful, little turnip. Be careful, little bugaboos. That's a delicate contraption we got there, little one. Okay.
Which one are you using?
The little ring, the little selfie ring action that we have.
Hi, Pumpkin.
Hi, Dada.
How'd you sleep?
Good.
Did you have any dreams?
Yeah.
What did you dream about?
I dreamed about, like, guess what?
What?
Mom's gonna pick me up at school. When I'm at school, she's gonna put on a sticker on, then pick me up. Then we're going to go pick up our friend Megan.
Oh my goodness.
And then what are we doing tonight?
Go to Becky's show.
Where is that at?
I forget.
Lynn
University.
Lynn University.
University.
What are we going to go see?
Becky's show.
With dancers and singers. Right? Yeah. And then we're going to go eat with Becky after her show and give her flowers. It is a girls' weekend.
It's my weekend.
Girls'
it's
weekend.
Your
girls
weekend.
weekend.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like so much fun. Wow.
So we're just partying here in the McGurk household. It is a party, party. We're going to get snacks. We're going to get cozy clothes. Oh, snap. And we are going to have party time.
Well, all right.
We might even get some
dance
party business happening.
All right. So that sounds pretty exciting.
It's pretty fun. Any comments we can comment on? Any comments?
I will try on the phone. Terry chimed in a couple times. Vicky says, hey. Terry says, jealousy is equals dominated by someone else's success.
Don't pull that.
Freddie Israel says, real, raw, and honest. You guys are so inspiring. Thank you,
Freddie. See?
Vicky says, love your realness.
That's
Terry
why
said,
I wanna...
heartbreak of whatever we envisioned not working the way we fantasized. So, well, that's the thing. We have a vision, and then it falls apart.
Let me say that, because this thing that I want to do, this mansion retreat that I want to do, not because it's the mansion, but because it's in the hills of West Virginia, might not be in the time frame that I want it, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it, that I don't have the big vision. It means that I have another retreat first in Florida, right? Or that we keep building here around that, or that I have something else. And so what it is if it doesn't happen on your time frame, right, that's when we get discouraged and give up and say it's not going to happen. And that's the problem. It's like you got to keep your eye on the vision, but understand that the journey is what we're most committed to, not the destination, right? And I'm going to enjoy that journey. If I have another retreat here or a couple more here before we do the other ones, or it takes me a year to get to Mexico or whatever, it's irrelevant, because that's the inspiration, that's the pull that I'm really excited about. But I'm so excited about doing the work. It doesn't matter if I do the work in Mexico or here. It doesn't matter, because it's the work that I enjoy, not the image of the thing that I'm trying to create, right? It's like, don't get married because you want to have the wedding, right? That's the problem with us, is we want to get married in the world. We want to get married because we want to plan the freaking wedding. We want to have a baby because we want to do the gender reveal, not change the freaking diapers, right? We want to get married because we want to have the wedding and the beautiful wedding, not because we want to wake up at 2 a.m. and go, I'm sorry, that was wrong. I shouldn't have reacted that way. You know, marry the thing because of the journey you're on. Have the vision because of you want all of it. You want the dirty diapers and you want the giggles on the first word. You can't live your life for the first word. You can't live your life for the big thing, right? Parenting, if we lived our life for the payoff of parenting, we'd be waiting, right? Because it's more sacrifice than rainbows.
Well,
Right?
and what's
And
so
that's
interesting,
goodness. That's everything.
right? Well, that's exactly. So what's interesting is, like, as
You're
an
all
example, I
rainbows.
haven't
You're
I
my
haven't
rainbow.
heard anybody who saw Endgame yesterday. I think Endgame was released last night, and you know it's a huge grossing movie. But what was interesting is when we look at like these
I'm
movies that
gonna
have
end
these
this one
incredible
because that one kind of
journeys.
hurts.
We have these like incredible successes
Daddy,
for these movies.
What's
Yeah,
happening?
yes,
One
sweetheart. Hold
second.
on.
No, go ahead. Wait,
Daddy.
1 second. Don't
I'll be right
interrupt
there.
him.
Is that these movies, like just Endgame, Infinity War, ended on such a down note that people are like, "What the?" That they're
Mad about
so
it.
right, but they're like, the movie was amazing, and like,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
But then when crap happens in our own life, we're like, "This is amazing! I just lost 200 grand." Like, they, we don't do that. We go, all is lost. What are we gonna do? And we start beating ourselves up instead of going, part of the story, part of the journey, and that this is creating the dynamism of life, as opposed to that the boring, like nothing's going on, and then nothing's
Do
going
your little
on.
model poses.
You may not have incredible lows, you're just all low, actually. But then when you see people succeeding and having a great life and all that, or you're like, oh, screw those people, instead of going, oh, it's possible, right? One of
Right.
the tenets of NLP, and when we dig deeper and people want to get on board with us, is that there's a basic tenet, a presupposition of NLP, that if one person can do something, anyone can do it. So when we see someone, and that's a great appreciation. So when you see someone doing something incredible, then you go, oh my gosh, if they could do it, I could do it. Now what I have to do is model what they were doing, what were they thinking, how are they writing their story, how do they overcome it? Like, we didn't see it, Paige. We're willing to notice how people are doing it, what is their motivation, how is the environment set up for their success. And what you'll notice is those people do not have a world of crap energy. They don't have people bringing them down. They don't have people,
Well, they
and
do, but
that's,
they don't care. They don't focus on it. Everybody
they
has people bringing them down.
yeah, but they have less because they dissociate from them. They may have a family member or things like that, and there's always going to be the haters and that kind of thing. But I'm saying, like, there are people who choose to spend more of their time with low energy people who, their me too is, yeah, my life sucks as well. Which is why it's so important, like, for us, our next opportunity is going to be that year-long,
Honey,
be
please
with
don't
us
pull this out.
for a year or more, set it up to make it easy to stay. So you're forcing yourself in an environment of like-minded people who are supporting you, who are brainstorming with you, and that's where so much magic happens, because it's a conscious decision to put yourself in that environment.
What time is it?
I don't know.
Okay. Anybody tell us what time it is? That was a brilliant point, Doug. Thanks for sharing that. I just
Oh,
want
it
to make
says
sure that I
six.
don't not
My
late
phone
for school.
says like 6:58, 7 a.m.
Oh, okay. Well, any other comments this morning?
Not really. Let's see. Terry Warble says you have to want and enjoy the ride, not the destination.
I
Terry
thought
Wager
my
said
baby
steps
analogy was pretty
toward.
good, or the marriage.
Yeah, it was very.
Yeah,
It
like
inspired more conversation. Paige said, "This is so good. I wish I could sit under you guys daily, sober, but life still sucks." Well.
Yeah, because we'll do another video on that again about when you remove your bad habits, like magically life's going to get better. But that's not what happens. We have to
Drugs
work.
and alcohol are not the problem. They became one, but that's not the underlying thing. We gotta. So Paige, we'll just keep tuning in, and life has moments of sucking, but I'm gonna hallucinate. There are also parts of your life that, like right now, perhaps this moment, where you could connect with us, that it's not sucking, that it's actually pretty okay, at the very least, unsucking, and celebrate that for the moment.
And
it's
there's
little
value in the
steps.
suck. There's value in the value.
Well, of
Value.
course.
What's your pain trying to teach you? And so you'll keep in the suck until you get the sermon. And so, you know,
But the
what's the
challenge
message
is you've
that
got
you
to
need?
open up, right? And again, we'll
Yeah,
talk
we have to
about that
say,
another
why
time.
am I sucking? Yeah, we'll do another live on that. That'd be really good. Well,
So we started to be a cliffhanger on that page. That's how, you know, that wasn't our intention.
we're going into the weekend. My girlfriend Megan's flying down, who is a therapist that I love and respect. So I'm going to get therapy. No, I'm just kidding. We're planning a retreat together. And so she's going to come down. We're going to hammer out the details and just go see my one of my best friend Becky's a teacher at Lynn University for the musical theater department. So we're going to see her. It's going to be an epic girls weekend over here in the McGurk house. And honey, you're so missed. So have the best time the rest of the weekend.
I'm glad. Have your fun girls weekend. I'll be.
There will be snacks, and there will be
yeah,
fuzzy
enjoy.
socks, and there will be rag
socks.
mags and In Touch and people. It's gonna
and
be epic.
Housewives marathon.
I'm all caught up.
Or Hallmark TV marathon.
No, that's only at Christmas.
Okay.
It's really only at Christmas time. Yeah, Hallmark. And poor Lori Loughlin. Anyway, another story. Anyway, love you guys. And
okay, we love you for
weekend.
who you are and who you aren't. I love you, honey, and
love you, baby.
Have a great day.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.